All right. Got the top 10 of my top 20 most undervalued baseball cards. This is part 2. Before I get into it, just a quick recap of how I made this list. The criteria is based off of 3 things: the player's accomplishments, the pop report has to be pretty low, so no junk wax era cards in this list, and most importantly, I looked at the price for the collector and the investment grade. So to me, collector grade is a grade that's very presentable. It's got great eye appeal, and it's a grade that you'll be happy with for years to come and should maintain its value. And an investment grade is a card that is more expensive than a collector grade. It has a good chance of increasing in value, maintaining its value, and has probably a good ROI, or return on investment, or you hope it does. Alright, so quickly, this is just how I broke down what collector grade is to me. I like to do the system of the decade is the collector grade. So if it's a card from the 30s, like a GOUDEY, a PSA 3 is a great collector grade, 40s, a great collector grade is a PSA 4, etc. Come down to the 2000s, it's a PSA 10. Any card pre-1930s, like a T206, I consider that to be like a PSA 2. Maybe even a 3 is a good collector grade, and in 1800s is a PSA 1. And then investment grade, the hobby standard for investment grade cards, anything pre-war is a PSA 5 investment grade. Anything post-war is a PSA 7 investment grade. Alright, so let's get into the list. At number 10, the 1933 GOUDEY Jimmie Foxx, number 29. He has 2 cards in the set, but I picked the number 29 card. Both cards of his look identical. However, the number 29 is a little more short printed. Unlike the Topps cards where the high series numbers are short printed in GOUDEY, with GOUDEY, at least for 1933, the first, I believe, 50 cards were short printed. So anyway, this is the key card to get. But Jimmie Foxx, in my opinion, is a kind of an overlooked player. I mean, he's definitely, people know who he is, but they should know more about who he is. I mean, he's a triple crown award winner, 2 times World Series champion. He batted .325 for his career, 3,000 hit club member, and a 3-time MVP. And this is a key card in the GOUDEY set, and you can pick it up for $300 and PSA 3. And then in investment grade PSA 5, it's about $800, which isn't cheap, but I still think this deserves even the top 10 list because this is a key card in the GOUDEY set. And the GOUDEY set is a very collectible set, so this is a key card along with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. And this is a pretty low pop. This is the PSA population report, but like most GOUDEYs, this is a low pop. Alright, so number 9 on the list is 1965 Topps Joe Morgan. Shout out to Silver Jactify. He has a great top 10 undervalued list, and this is on his list, and I have to agree, and it definitely surprised me. I was debating whether or not to put this in the top 10, but it's such a cheap card, it has to be on this list. I mean, he's considered one of the best second basemen of all time. ESPN actually ranked him number 18 on their top 10 or top 100 list. I don't know if I would agree with that. It's a bit generous. But he was a 2 times World Series champ and a 5-time Gold Glove winner. And regardless whether or not you think he's considered one of the best second basemen of all time, I think we can all agree that his rookie card is very undervalued because a PSA 6 is at $65, and a PSA 7, the investment grade, is $160. And it has a pretty low pop. Alright, so number 8 is the 33 GOUDEY Lefty Groove. So Lefty Groove was a very good pitcher back in the day in the 30s and 40s and late 20s. And he's number 23 on Sporting News' top 100 list, and number 48 on ESPN's top 100. And he's a 2-time Triple Crown winner for a pitcher. He won the MVP, and he's a 2-time World Series champion. And you can pick up a PSA 3 for about $250, and a PSA 5 for about $500. So this is cheaper than the Jimmy Foxx, but it's a great card to pick up, and this is also one of the key cards in the set. And it's, you know, a low pop card like most Goudeys, and I think it's a beautiful card. I love this Art Deco design, and the pitching pose is great. All right, so number 7 on the list is another pitcher, the 1965 Topps Steve CARLTON. Steve CARLTON is considered one of the best pitchers of all time. I mean, he's number 25 on ESPN's Top 100 list, number 30 on Sporting News' Top 100 list, and he's a 4-time Cy Young winner, won the Triple Crown, 2 times World Series champion. Did all that, and you can get his rookie card for only $100 in PSA 6, and in investment grade PSA 7, it's only about $100 more at $200, and just a card worth picking up now. And number 6 on the list is the 1973 Topps Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt's considered one of the best third baseman of all time. I mean, he's a 500 home run club member, 10-time Gold Glove winner, 3-time MVP. And he's on the MLB All-Century team, which is a list they put together. I think the critics and the fans voted on back in 1999, and they picked I think 2 players per position, and he was on that list. Number 16 on ESPN's Top 100 list. And you can get his card in a PSA 7 for $225, and in PSA 8, if you want to bump it up even higher than a 7, which is a great grade anyway, you can pick it up for $550, which to me is a steal. And this, believe it or not, is a high number short print, even though there's 6,281 cards graded. I think just a lot of people are grading this card, and that's why the pop's so high, but it is still a very high pop card, and that's why I didn't have him on the top 5 list. He's at number 6, but it's still a great card to pick up, and I would definitely look for examples where this card is centered, because centering can be an issue, but if you're patient, you can find one. All right, so number 5. This probably surprises a lot of people. It did surprise me, but after doing all my research, I think he deserves to be at number 5. The 1948 BOWMAN Warren Spahn rookie. This is Warren Spahn's true rookie. A lot of people think it's labeled as a 1948 Leaf is his rookie card, but people have found out lately that this card, the Leaf, was actually made in 1949, so it's not his true rookie. This is his true rookie, albeit I'll admit that it's not the most attractive looking card, but it's still a great card. It's the first year that Bowman made a card. It's before Topps, and Warren Spahn was just an incredibly good player. Just an interesting fact, he was the 6th most winning pitcher in history. He lost 3 years to World War II and may have been number 1. And he was on the All-Century team, number 21 on Sporting News Top 100, number 45 on ESPN's Top 100. And it just blows my mind that you can pick up a collector grade PSA 4 for $150 and a PSA 7 for about $550, and it's a very low print card. And this guy is considered, I mean, some consider him to be I think the top 5 best pitchers of all time, and the fact that you can pick up his card for about $150 in collector grade just blows my mind, and definitely worth picking up, I think. All right, number 4 on the list is another all-time great, the 1968 Topps Johnny Bench, considered the greatest catcher of all time. I mean, he won 10 Gold Gloves, not Gold Globes. He won 2 MVPs. He's a 14-time All-Star, 2 times World Series champ. He was part of the Big Red Machine. I definitely have a soft spot for the Big Red Machine because I'm from Cincinnati. Wasn't alive during that time, but I've heard stories. But there's a lot of these cards out there. There's 6,658, but at the same time, this is one of the greatest catchers of all time, I think, hands down. And you can pick up a PSA 6 for only $120, and a PSA 7 for $250, which I think is still a steal. And that's why he's number 4 on the list. So number 3 is another Goudey card. I know I have a lot of Goudeys on the list, but this is a key set in the hobby, along with the 52 tops and the T206. So it's always good to have a card from one of those sets. And I think Melod is another overlooked player. He's a 500 home run club member, 12-time All-Star. He's a World Series champ, 6-time NL home run leader, ranked number 30 on ESPN's Top 100 and number 42 on Sporting News' Top 100. And I have him at number 3 because his cards go for very cheap. I mean, I listed it as $200 for a PSA 3 collector grade, but I have an example of one, and I actually picked this up. This is an SGC 3 for about like $160, and you can find them for around that price. And at PSA 5 max, you'll find it for $400. You could probably find it for cheaper, but I think this is just a gorgeous card. It's a low pop card like most Goudeys. And he has another card in the set where he's batting, but this is the key card. This is the portrait, and I love this Art Deco design, and this is a very undervalued card in my opinion. All right, so number 2 on the list is a 1957 Topps Frank Robinson. I think people are just kind of forgetting about this guy, and I think people are going to start realizing how great of a player he is, and I think his value will go up for sure. I mean, he was an MVP in both leagues. I don't think anyone else has ever done that. He was a Triple Crown winner, 500 home run club member, and he almost hit 3,000 hits. He was just barely shy. He's number 20 on ESPN's Top 100, number 22 on Sporting News' Top 100, and you can pick up his rookie card for $150 in collector grade PSA 5, and I have a version of that, and it's just gorgeous in person. I know my lighting's pretty low, but I had to keep it low so you could see the keynote. But it's a great card in person, and if you want to bump it up to investment grade PSA 7, it's $400, which to me is still a steal. There's only 713 of those, so it's still a low pop, and it's just a great card to have. All right. Drum roll. Number 1. I think this will definitely come to us as a surprise to many. Is the T206 Eddie Collins. This card, to me, it just blows my mind how cheap this card is, because he's part of the 3,000 hit club. He's a 6 times World Series champ. He won the MVP. He had a .33 career batting average. I mean, he's up there as one of the greats during the dead ball era and even in the live ball era. And I actually have a copy of this card. I don't have it with me for this video, but it's just a gorgeous card. This is the only card he has in the T206 set, and this is actually a very early card of his. It's not his rookie card, but he was only in the league for a couple years when this came out. And you can get a PSA 3 for $175 or less. I've seen it go for less. And then PSA 5, they go for about $500, which is a steal. It's a low print card. It's a T206 card, and I think you should definitely pick it up. It should be worth twice as much in my opinion. All right, so that's it. Comment, like, don't like. I'm curious what you guys think of the list and who you would add or take out, and yeah, I'd be glad to send this keynote to anybody if you're interested, but thanks for watching.